Like, I'm not someone who constantly checks my bank balance. I always tell them, like, as long as my card doesn't decline, we're good when we go out.
It is tedious. Every single time I spend, I have to
Yeah.
like put it in like bubble tea and stuff.
And it's so scary when you see the amount.
So do you know right now, if let's say you were to lose your sources of income, how long can you survive?
Honestly, now with like, again, because I just bought a place, it's definitely got to be upwards of 5K.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's up guys, I'm Emir and this is The Money Goal. Today I have Kalista with me. Kalista, what do you want to talk about?
Okay, I don't know how to say this, but I'm very, very disorganized with my money.
Okay.
I think a lot of freelancers and contract workers will probably feel the same way. We don't have a set income. So it's like every month will be different. We have like income coming in from different places, sometimes not enough income coming in. How would you suggest I manage this situation?
Okay, so you have multiple income sources, but nothing is fixed, right?
Kind of, yeah.
Sometimes you get a lot, sometimes not enough.
Yes.
Not enough. Okay. Yeah, I think that's very normal. So I am the same as you. I don't have a fixed income as well. Sometimes we get a lot of deals and we feel on top of the world. Like I'm going to buy a new house. And then some months I'm like, oh my God, it's cucumbers and rice for the rest of the month.
Correct.
Okay,
So
okay.
like it's kind of difficult to kind of keep track. And like my friends are always on my case because I always tell them I don't know like how much my bank balance is.
Okay.
Like I'm not someone who constantly checks my bank balance. Like I always tell them, I mean it's partly joking but also partly not. I always tell them like as long as my card doesn't decline, we're good when we go out.
That's the way to do things. That's the way to do things. Okay. So do you know roughly what your expenses are every month?
Mortgage, rental, insurance,
Yeah.
credit card debts.
Okay. I think we don't have to get into like how much exactly it is, but do you know the figure like in your mind?
Not really. It's,
Not really,
it's a
okay.
lot.
Okay.
It's the reason I don't know is because it is a lot and it's a bit overwhelming sometimes.
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want to think about it. Like I think that's just how like I go through life in general. It's like
Okay.
as long as everything's good, we're good.
Okay.
So I don't really think about the months that maybe it's gonna
I'm
be
not
a
so good.
bit
Okay,
difficult.
okay.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, I mean, it seems like you are doing pretty okay for yourself. I mean, you can pay for everything. It seems fine.
Cost.
But I guess one thing you need to be a bit cautious of is, you sweep things under the rug, and eventually those things might come back up in the future. And you're like, oh my God, how am I gonna like settle all of this, right? So I think even though you want to be disorganized and stuff, like you don't want to check things too much. I think what you need to know is at least your expenses for a month. So what I usually tell people, or what I do myself as well, at the start at least, is that I would track every single ringgit that goes out of my account. Not perpetually, because it is tedious. Like every single time I spend, I have to like put it in like bubble tea and stuff.
And it's so scary when you see the amount.
I know. Like it can be a lot, right? But I think this needs to be done for at least 3 months, I would say.
Okay.
Just so you know your average spend, right? Whether you are, within your limits or a bit too much. Because we can sweep all these things under the rug, we can put it on credit, everything will seem fine, but one day, if it blows up, it can really blow up and then you'll regret. So eventually I think you have to face it. It's just better to face it now than when things are really bad, lah. Right?
Okay.
So that will be first step, I think. Just figure out your expenses. Are you saving money now every month?
I am. Like I have a few different places that I like kind of like put money away. I've actually had to take some of it out recently because I did buy a house recently.
Okay.
So that's been a lot of expenses. And I think you'll probably know as someone who doesn't earn like an exact monthly salary, it's kind of hard to get loans anyway.
Okay.
So it's definitely been dipping into my like savings and stuff.
Yeah. But at least you're saving money every month. Consistently, you're just doing it on autopilot.
Yes.
On
Auto debit. Everything is auto debit.
Okay, actually, yeah. So I think in some ways you're actually doing pretty well already. It must be, right? I guess now it's just more of you really understanding your finances a bit better.
Yeah, because I did it because I put everything on auto debit because I have a tendency to forget.
Okay.
Like I'm a very disorganized person in general. Like all these especially like these admin things are not my strong suit. So once everything's on auto debit, I don't have to think about it.
Okay.
Which also manifests as everything's on auto debit, so I do not think about it.
Okay. Do you know? Okay. So do you know right now, if let's say you were to lose your sources of income, how long can you survive? Okay. So I think this is one thing that you probably want to work on. Maybe you already have enough saved up for like 2 years, right? You never know. But at least this is something that you want to know, just to be aware of, right? So this is what I would call an emergency fund. where this money set aside is for emergencies if anything were to happen. Either you lose your income or a big unexpected bill comes up. Right.
Would you put an emergency fund separate from like your like savings?
In general.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. So to me, emergency funds are like the foundations of everything. So for someone who is employed, the general rule of thumb would be around 3 to 6 months worth of your expenses.
Okay.
Right? And you need to know your expenses to know what is 3 to 6 months
True.
worth, right? Yeah, so that's the general rule of thumb for people who are employed, who have a fixed salary. But for people like us, where it's a bit unstable, and at any time we can lose our income for a month, right? Or even 2 months where deals dry up or something.
Yeah.
I tend to be a bit more on the safe side, on the cautious side. And that's what people generally do as well. Right? So for me, for example, I saved up 24 months worth of my expenses before I decided to quit my job. Yeah. And the reason, so I know it's like, oh, it's crazy, right? It's crazy. So the reason I did that was because, you know, startups, when people start a company,
Yeah.
they have something called a runway, which is
Okay.
how much money can we survive? Because they're losing money, right? How much money can we survive with the current cash that we have? Okay. And for a business, which I guess you would consider yourself a business, or you're running a business where you're trying to earn
Yes,
money,
so, yeah.
manage your costs and stuff, you want to have a long runway where even in a worst case scenario, like 1 year really, really bad, you can't earn money, at least you know that you're fine. So this is something that I would aim for. Maybe you already have it, but it's just something that you would want to have as well. So emergency fund, it's separate, as in this 2-year emergency fund is separate from everything else. So once I have this, I set it into, let's say, a bank account, and then all my other savings, all my other investments go somewhere else.
Well, where would you say, because this is like a big chunk of money, right?
Yeah.
Where would you put the savings?
Okay.
Because they always say don't put in a savings account, right?
Yeah, so for this, because we need it during emergencies, right, we want it somewhere that's safe. Because I cannot put it into, let's say, Bitcoin, and then one day I don't have money, but Bitcoin dropped 90%, and I'm like, wait, what happened to my emergency funds, right? Yeah, so for emergency funds, I'll put it somewhere safe. These days, there are a lot of digital banks that pay pretty good interest, and then there's a lot of things called money market funds, fixed deposits, for example. Those are all pretty good options for your emergency fund. Yeah, for me, I put it into ASB. I don't know.
Okay.
Are you?
No.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
So you can put it into fixed deposits, money market funds. Those are all pretty good options as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So now let's get a bit towards your expenses. So you don't know? Do you roughly know how much you're spending a month?
Honestly, now with like, again, because I just bought a place, it's definitely got to be upwards of 5K.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least.
Okay. And is your income consistently exceeding your expenses?
I think some months balance out the other months. Yeah.
Okay.
I think so far it's been able to cover, but again, because I had only just bought a place, that's
Yeah.
why it's a bit worrying, because
Yeah.
obviously a mortgage is more than rental, and
Yeah.
because my mortgage is not here, I'm paying a mortgage and rent.
On top of your rental, yeah. It
So
can be
it
crazy.
can be a
right?
lot, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So again, I think you just need to figure out your expenses. That's one. Like I said, you just got to track everything. But everything that you're paying right now, are you paying on cash, or do you have anything on credit?
I think other than credit cards, nothing is. I mean,
You have like
there's a housing loan.
the housing loan. I mean, I think that's normal. But do you have like any personal loans, BNPL, buy now pay later? You don't have any of those? Just
Don't
credit
think so.
card.
Yeah.
Okay.
credit card.
Yeah, I think that's good. But your credit cards, are you paying it off every month, like in full?
I'm not paying the whole thing in full, but
Okay.
I'm covering at least the minimum.
Okay.
The minimum requirement every month.
Okay.
What do they call it? Minimum payment.
Yeah, so there's like a outstanding balance, which is how much you spend in total, and then there's a minimum balance. I don't know what the calculation is for that, but it's usually lower lah.
Actually, credit cards are very confusing for me. Like every time I look at the statement,
Okay.
there's all these different numbers and all these different
Okay.
percentages, and I'm just like, I don't really understand
Okay.
what comes in where. But
Do you see a
yeah.
percentage in your credit card statement?
Yes.
Okay, then that's not a good sign.
There's
Usually we don't want to see.
17%, I remember.
Exactly.
I hate it.
Okay, yeah. So right now you're running some minimum balances. You're not paying your cards in full, right? So I would say credit cards are good. Like I use credit cards all the time. I almost exclusively use credit cards just because, for us, we want to build credit score. Right? For you to buy a house, you needed a credit score, which I guess the credit card helped you. And then a lot of credit cards have cashback, has rewards and stuff where we can, redeem it for something or just get cashback directly, right? But what we need to be really careful of is running a balance on your credit card, which means you're not paying it off in full.
Okay.
Okay, so I think, like you said, it can be confusing, which is why a lot of people might not take it seriously. But what we want to do is every single month, I will pay off my credit card in full. The entire outstanding balance I will pay it off.
But what about those cards that like 10, 20K limit? Like how would
Okay.
you?
So the limit is what they allow you to spend, right? Which you can spend, but you should pay it off still. Okay, so the reason that I say this is because credit card debt is one of the worst. It's one of the worst, right? Because the interest rate is so high.
Yeah,
Right?
I've heard that.
So the 17% you were talking about, that's an example. That is just crazy high, right? So
Yeah.
if let's say you have even 1,000 ringgit in credit card debt, in 1 year, just interest would be 170 ringgit. Right? And if you keep rolling this, every month you pay minimum, every month you pay minimum, your balance can really go up. So
Yeah.
if it's 10,000 that you have in debt, for a year that's 1,700 ringgit in interest, which is crazy. All right?
Yeah, I think mine has definitely been rolling for a
Okay.
while. Like, yeah.
Okay. So I would go to the extent that if you think your income is stable enough for the next few months, I would go to the extent of using all my savings to pay off the credit card debt. That is how bad I think it is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing is, when we invest, right, when we put it into fixed deposits, into money market funds, we will get 3-4% a year,
Okay.
right? If we put it into stocks, even like a really good investment, right, we can get maybe 10-12% a year. So nothing that we can invest in will outdo the credit card interest rates. It is just too high. So that is your highest return on investment that you can do.
Okay, so my credit card, most of the payments, I don't know whether you would say this is a good thing or should I take it off.
Okay.
So my insurance, the monthly payment for my insurance is on my credit card.
Okay.
Should I take it out on my credit card or just leave it there and pay off the credit card instead?
You mean take out the, you mean as in pay your insurance?
So like my
separately?
credit card pays for my insurance
Okay.
and then I pay my credit
Credit
card,
card,
right?
right. Yeah, yeah.
Should I just take out my insurance and just directly pay my insurance instead?
I think either way is okay,
Okay.
as long as you can pay off the credit card bill.
Okay.
It's the same thing, right? Whether you want to pay your insurance company directly or pay off your credit card bill. I have my insurance on my credit card bill just because it gives me cashback. But again, I would pay off my bill every month. I would pay it in full every month, yeah. So I think this is probably priority number one,
Okay.
I would say. I guess for people like us, it can be a bit difficult to use all of our savings to clear it now, just because if we do that, it means that suddenly the run rate I was talking about, it goes from 2 years to maybe 1 month. And it's very risky, right? It's
Yeah.
very risky to...
It's scary, yeah, when you see the number.
Yeah, exactly. So I understand that it can be risky, but I think that's why, again, you need to know how much money you have in savings. You need to know roughly your expenses. And then you need to figure out, okay, how much can I spare a month to go towards my credit card bill? Right? To pay it off. These are extra cash that you have to take out from your savings or from your monthly expenses to pay off your credit card and get it to zero. Right?
Okay.
I think you should be doing pretty well. The fact that you can still use your credit card and it hasn't hit the...
I actually don't use my credit card that much.
Okay.
Yeah, it's mostly the insurance because I also pay for my parents' insurance.
Okay.
So like I got 3 people's insurance on the credit card.
On your credit card.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
okay.
basically it's that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, I think then it doesn't seem like it's that much. I don't know what your outstanding balance is now.
I also don't know.
You know how they say 50% of the problem is identifying the problem. So 65%.
You're gonna say it's me, I'm like,
no. 50% of the solution is figuring out the problem or being aware of it, right? So I think, I think with this, I even have people like very close to me, like very close family members who got into this as well. And I think it's just general lack of understanding of how all these things work, right?
I think like as you get older, there are so many things that you weren't taught in school
Exactly.
and that are so boring
Exactly.
and
I know.
complicated that
Yeah.
you just kind of get caught up with. It's like taxes, right? Like I don't ask you, you probably do, but like who knows how taxes work? I still don't know how taxes work. I just give it to someone and they tell me how much I need to pay and then that's it.
Okay.
Like it's like with credit cards and stuff. It's like you tell me how much I need to pay you. That's it.
Okay. Actually, on that note, since you're a freelancer, not a freelancer, but since your income is it varies by month, right? Do you save taxes as you go, or how do you deal with the
No.
bill?
I just deal with it when it comes.
So when it comes like tax season is coming up now.
Yeah. So
someone
I
tells
already
you how
know
much you
around
pay.
this time my balance will be lower.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm already
okay.
mentally prepared for it.
Okay, yeah. So I think that's another thing that you might wanna just
Save on the side.
exactly, yeah. So what I do is every month I set a reminder on my phone The first of the month is my P&L day, which is profit and loss day, my income day, where I will go through my bank statement, go through my invoices, every single like money that comes into my account, I will take out 20%. So that's my tax rate, right? I'll take out 20% and put it into a different bank account.
Okay, so that's the question. How many accounts do you have? Because I have so many accounts that I'm like putting things into,
messy,
taking
right?
things out. So there's so many. And if you want to add, okay, you add another emergency fund and then you add another account for like your taxes. Like,
Yeah.
where are you putting all these
There's
things?
too much, right? Yeah, okay. So for me, I have a lot, but just because I create content around finance, so I just want to test out these products. But these days, a lot of banks have something called saving jars,
Okay.
where you can create a jar and say, this jar is for my taxes. This jar is for my emergency fund, whatever it is. So you can keep it under one bank
Okay.
and just segregate your money that way. Yeah.
So that's still a good idea to just use it that way. Okay.
Yeah. So that's what I do. I just have one bank account where I have a holiday fund in there, I have my emergency fund in there, I have my taxes. Yeah. So I think taxes is probably another thing that you want to just start preparing for it as you go, because otherwise, on a very good year, right? Let's say you earn 500,000 ringgit for the year. It's like an amazing year. You feel good, you spend it, and then the next year your tax bill comes and you're like, oh my god. Yeah. It happens to a lot of people. It happens to a lot of people, and it can get really bad.
Yeah.
It can get really bad. Yeah. So
Okay.
I would do that as well. That's another thing that you probably want to.
And for someone who's like very disorganized like me, like honestly, you don't even know the half of it. I don't want to scare you. But would you suggest getting someone like, you always hear about financial advisors, right?
Yeah.
But I always feel like it's for people who have like a lot of investment and money. But then what about someone who's just like savings and stuff like that? Would
Okay.
you suggest to get someone like that?
Yeah, so I think that's a misconception that a lot of people have, where financial planners is for the wealthy, right? It's like people who want to open an account in the Cayman Islands to avoid tax, right? That level. But it's not. So I have a financial planner.
Okay.
And I spoke to him about this as well. I said a lot of my friends, they don't want to get it because they think they're not at that level yet. And my friends are earning like 30, 40,000 a month and they're like, oh no, we're not even at that level yet. So I spoke to him and they have clients who are earning even 6,000, 8,000 a month. Yeah. And the way mine works is I pay a fixed fee every year. More money that goes out of your pocket.
That's also a thing. Like, is it worth it to pay?
Okay. For me, in my opinion at least, in your scenario now, I would definitely do it. I think 3,000 ringgit is a lot. It's a lot. You can find ones that are cheaper or do a bit less things. But I think the amount of peace of mind that it can give you, like just getting you organized and everything is in place, I think it's so worth it.
It's like, you need help, girl.
Yeah, I think in your situation now, you might feel like everything is fine now, but it might really come back down the line and everything sort of pops up.
It is a concern.
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. So financial planners really give you peace of mind. I got mine, and even I'm like a personal finance nerd, right? I study so much on it. I read about a lot of things, but I still got someone because, for example, taxes is not my specialty, and to me, taxes is so boring.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? So, if I got to pay money, who likes that? So I just got him, and I just got him to figure out everything for me, and to me, it's worth the money. I bought a house as well recently. And I asked him, hey, I'm buying a house at this price. This is my monthly payment. Based on my cash flow, do you think I can afford it? And he was like, let me do the calculations. Yeah, I think you can afford it. No problem. Yeah, so I think a lot of these things, it's just a lot easier. To me, it's worth the money, especially for someone who's just starting to manage everything like yourself. You don't have to do it forever. Maybe just 1 year. And then from there, you just manage it yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty good advice. So I think I'll definitely look into it. Definitely try to figure out my life this year.
Okay. Yeah, I think, so basically to summarize, I think, one, you want to know what your numbers are like. I think that's one. You don't have to go into so much detail. You don't have to do it forever, but at least you have a high level snapshot of how much money you're making, how much money you're spending every month, and how much debt you have, right? And then the second takeaway, I guess, is like I said, prioritize clearing off your credit card debts. Those are really bad. Your mortgage is fine. Pay it off every month, no problem. Don't have to rush to clear it off. But your credit card loans, that one I would chop it off. Use your savings, cut down your expenses if you have to, just try and get rid of that.
Would you suggest not having that many cards?
If you can't control yourself, then for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. If you feel that you can control your finances, you're very disciplined, you've gotten to that point, then have as much as you want.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Kalista. Very nice
you
talking
so
to you.
much.
I wish you all the best.
I learned a
and
lot.